and also what journey do you have for the people, right? So that's essentially what we're going to be breaking down today. So when it comes to brand storytelling, when, let's say for example, you are promoting a clothing brand, right? So if someone is promoting a clothing brand and they say, okay, this clothing
Uh,
brand is made. Hi, Arthur, are you saying something?
sorry, yeah, sorry about that. You can continue.
Sure, man. Yeah, he says you can continue. Okay. But he's also mentioned that she has a couple of issues with the Wi-Fi kind of vibes. Yeah, let's give a bit of a sec. Um, see, let me just try content on the side as well. You said now,
I'm,
yes, you
I'm
back.
back.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, cool.
Yeah.
Apologies for that, guys. The Wi-Fi is a bit shaky because of the weather.
That's
But
yeah.
yeah, I was just explaining that you know, when someone is selling a clothing brand and then they tell me the story that okay, this clothing brand, it has to do with, you know, combining, you know, the African culture, you know, is Xhosa, is Zulu, is Sotho, you know, and this is how it actually came about, this clothing brand, so that it can represent the African culture. In comparison to someone saying to me, okay, I'm selling this shirt, and this shirt is 300 rand, it's durable, you know, stretchy, and then it can take up all your sweat. Like for me, automatically, I'm going to gravitate towards the one that actually creates their clothing brand based on the African culture, the way they design, because that means they're speaking to me as an African child, right? So that's exactly where we're going to tap into, to say you need to know your story, you need to sell your story to people. People connect better with stories, unlike you just saying, you know, buy the shirt because the shirt is going to be durable. Tell us, when I'm wearing the shirt, how is it going to make me feel? When I'm wearing the shirt, what is it going to make me represent, right? Is it going to represent me, right? So essentially, I wanted to speak about different platforms and their different behaviors. So now you know what your story is, you know what you have to bring to the community. But now you need to be able to then distribute it to all these platforms that we have available, right? So remember, we've got different platforms that we have. We've got your Instagram, we've got your Facebook, we've got your TikTok, we've got your X, we've got your YouTube, we've got LinkedIn, we've got a variety of platforms. So each of these platforms, they don't behave the same, right? So when it comes to Instagram, we know that Instagram is more on short attention span, scrolling culture, right? We're not looking at videos that are 10 minutes long. That's not what Instagram is for. But now when we come to LinkedIn, we know that now we're more focused on the professional side of things. We know that it's all about having that authoritative presence, right? That's how you're actually going to catch the attention of the people on LinkedIn. And then when we go to Facebook, we know Facebook is more based on community, you know, starting conversations, engaging with the community. It's more community driven, right? So you know that your content has to connect with the community, right? Then you've got your email or your website. So with email, you know, it's more strict, it's more formal, it's more in depth, right? You can't be just informal on email. You can't just write like you're writing a text on WhatsApp, for example, or on Instagram. You know, you have to be formal and you have to be in depth, right? Because that's where now people see the depth of your company, right? So remember, your story always has to stay the same, but how you actually create on each of these platforms is different, right? So that's exactly what you need to keep in mind. So an example that I can think about is, let's say I want to maybe share hacks of cleaning shoes, right, or sneakers. So how I'm going to create my story on LinkedIn is not going to be the same as how I create my story on Instagram, right? So on LinkedIn, I'm going to make sure that it's more authoritative, it shows leadership, right? And then on Instagram, I'm going to make it more jolly, more fun, more creative, right? Because of the atmosphere and the behavior of that platform. And then on YouTube, I'm going to try and make it a bit longer, where I explain, you know, the information, where I drag it so that people can actually, you know, watch it longer, because that's the behavior of YouTube, right? So that's what you need to bear in mind when it comes to the different platforms that we have and how it behaves in how you actually tell your story, because it's not feasible to take one story on Instagram and then you do copy and paste on all the platforms. I don't think all the platforms are going to receive it the same. But if you take the same story that, okay, I'm sharing hacks of cleaning sneakers or shoes, but I structure it in a certain way on LinkedIn, and then I structure it in a certain way on Instagram, and then I structure it in a certain way on YouTube, that one is most likely to be effective and it's most likely to help you connect with your audience, right? So now I want to actually speak about core storytelling principles that we need to keep in mind when we creating our content, when we're creating our stories on these platforms. Remember, we've got two different forms of content. We've got your short form content, and then we've got your long term content, right? So Arthur, can you please just explain what you think the short form content is and the long term content is, and what's its purpose basically? Hello, are you there, Arthur? Oh, Arthur left.
Cool, man. Can I come in there?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're saying that the the difference between, can you repeat the question again?
So the difference between short form
Sure.
content and long term content, what do you think the difference is, and what do you think its purposes are?
So yeah, man, as you say that there's a difference between the two and also like the purpose. So for instance, like short form is just to get someone like on board, like to just see. Yeah, well, so there we're trying to make it
Mhm.
as excitable as possible. We're also competing with what's this attention. Yeah, well, so we want to make it worthwhile instead of them just scrolling
Mm,
through to another point. So want to make it quick, we want to
mm,
make it instant, and we want to get our point across instantly. So I would say it's mostly for like
mm,
people for the market that it really hasn't adopted the product or the service yet. It's for the
mm,
early users. And then your long form is more like someone who's already connected to the brand. They in love with the brand. It's more
mm.
of yeah. As you say, it's got a long term focus. Yeah, long term focus. Yeah,
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So with short form, because obviously people that don't know your brand, they don't want
yeah,
to listen to something too long or read something that's too long. They need something like super
yeah,
short.
yeah.
And
There's a
then
lot of
those that yeah, and then those that already support your brand, it's easy for you to, send them a long video because now they know who you are, they're
yeah,
aware of what your brand is about, and then they're now interested in finding out more, right? So they are most likely to gravitate towards the long form
yeah,
content, right?
yeah,
So with short form, it's more focused on building awareness,
yeah.
grabbing attention, and also sparking curiosity, right? And
As
then
on
with long form,
as on also a question there. So for instance, now with this one, you're saying that you can't post the same thing across all the platforms. Yeah? And I
yeah,
agree with it. I totally agree with it. But
yeah,
what happens now when whereby
yeah,
time is a factor, because must let's say that the business is on like 4 different platforms. So now having to tailor make each for each, like how do you go about that? Or maybe you maybe take that maybe let's say in a week you've planned to post like maybe 3 posts. So maybe on
mm,
Instagram you post first another one, then on
mm.
LinkedIn another one, or like in how would you go about it? Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think it's a great question because I also come across that as well. In terms of time management and the workload of creating different
Yeah.
content for the different platforms. But what we try and do is, let's say there's 3 posts now, and
Yeah.
then the first one maybe it's a video on Monday. So we try and use the same video, but the caption will be different, right? If it's
Yeah.
videos, and
Yeah.
then if it's images,
Yeah.
what we try and do is, let's say like for polls, we know
Mm.
on X, on LinkedIn, we don't always have to have a graphic. We can just put up a poll, but then we take that and then we create it as a graphic on Instagram. So
I
we
see.
we try and yeah, we try and mix match it. It's not easy,
Repurpose, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think when you have a team, when you do have a big team where
Team.
for LinkedIn, I give this person responsibility for LinkedIn. For Instagram, I give this person responsibility for Instagram and Facebook.
Sure.
And then we're able to say, okay, if this is created for Insta, then
Yeah.
the one that's responsible for LinkedIn, they should try and tweak it up. Because with our team, we try and do that by all means. We've got a
Yeah.
base as a blueprint, but we
Sure.
try and switch up just a few other things on each platform as much as we can. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not possible, especially when it comes to time and
Yeah.
and I would say workload, right? Because even availability, because it's
Yeah.
all would see someone has other responsibilities. But yeah, we'll be sharing this with the people so that they can also try and implement it. Even ourselves, we are still in the process of learning how to implement it. But yeah, just trying to keep it
Nice,
at the back of the mind and just evaluating as well. Because sometimes when you actually copy and paste, it does work. It does work sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's more effective when you actually tweak it up according to the behaviors of the platform.
Nice, man. Nice. No, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially just the core principles. If one can just know the difference between short form and long
Yeah.
term, I think it can really help with the effectiveness of connecting with their audience, right? And
Sure. Yeah.
converting the sales.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
now when it comes to storytelling, one needs to now divide it into three, right? This is how you can actually master your
Yeah.
brand storytelling. So
Sure.
the first one, character. Second
Character. Okay.
one, conflict. And then the third one is resolution. So when we
Conflict.
speak about yeah, when we speak about character, we're now
Mm.
trying to understand the client, right? The brand as well, but most of the time the client. So for us, as marketing companies, we know that okay, we're dealing
Sure.
with small businesses. We're dealing with okay. For me, let me speak about me. I know I focus on startups and small businesses most of
Yeah.
the time, but I deal
Yeah.
with them too as well. We deal with a lot of small businesses. We know Guti, that's our clientele, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then now the conflict is what is the problem that we've identified, right,
Mm.
from the clients that we're dealing
Oh,
with. So with small businesses, we
that's conflict.
realized lack of resources.
Yeah.
Sorry, please repeat that.
No, I'm saying that you said that the conflict is basically what the market is wanting. You said that the character is the client, right? And then the
Yeah, the
conflict,
characters is the clients. Yeah.
is the problem that the target market is facing.
Yes,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
And
Yeah. Sure.
yes, and
Yeah.
and then okay, Arthur just sent us a message. He says
Okay.
his network is problematic. Yeah.
Okay. No. Sure.
So yeah, 100%
Yeah.
conflict is what the target market is struggling with. Then
Yeah.
the resolution is what we are solving, our solution,
Nice.
right? So
Nice.
if people can master these three,
Yeah.
then they're good to go. They'll be able to structure their story, to be able to connect with their audience, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if we look at, so now it comes down to the tone, right?
The
So
tone.
with the
Yeah.
tone of these, yeah, the tone now, that's when I was telling you that on each platform, we always try and tweak up the messaging, even though we're using the same video, the same graphic, but we try and tweak up the message, right?
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
know what if we keep these three in mind: character, conflict, and resolution. How we're going
Sure.
to structure it on LinkedIn is not going to be
Yeah.
the same as how we structure it on Instagram, right?
Sure.
So we know
Sure.
what on LinkedIn it has to be professional, right?
Yeah.
You always
Yeah.
have to make sure that it's professional, but you still include these three pointers inside.
Sure.
For Insta, more creative, more jolly, more fun, but you still keep
Sure.
these three inside. And then you just ensure that you don't mix up the tones, right? Because you might not be able to connect with that audience on that
Yeah.
particular platform, right?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that's what people actually need to keep in mind. And then they essentially, so I don't know, I want to find out from you. So
Mm.
on LinkedIn, how
Yeah.
do you think we would go about, like, maybe can you give me an example of how we'd actually structure a brand storytelling
Yeah.
content piece using the three, but for LinkedIn?
So yeah, this morning just before I was preparing, I was thinking to myself, you can like, for instance, let's say if your marketing is like Nando's and so forth, and you like to joke, Um,
Mm,
you can still have a lot of humor. Also on LinkedIn, as you say, more like the serious vibe, but on a more of like
mm,
a witty, you know those jokes whereby like you have to like go through the joke and then get it instead of the direct ones. So as you were saying, like
yes.
with what's this? Just to try to recall the first one was what was the making the client the character, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think this morning that almost that not AI trend whereby people were taking characters of themselves to work and so forth.
Mm, mm, mm,
The main reason the people like that is because it's about them. So
mm,
but,
mm,
people just enjoy things being about us. So number one, I'd say the character is there,
mm,
making it about themselves. And on LinkedIn,
mm,
we basically so one of the best ways to engage in storytelling is asking questions so that the person can engage. So I would say that is
mm,
poking the problem, and saying, hey man, I experience this kind of problem, and basically
mm,
that's where you start to show off your professional qualities, and basically
mm,
with that problem that you've identified for them, this is
mm,
now the conflict. You can start
mm.
one showing that you on point. Okay, let's just take a minute. Sure. You can start. Okay, so sorry, I'm just trying to. I think someone's trying to come in there. Okay, so you can start basically.
All right.
You can start basically dealing with what's this the problem there, the conflict there, and then the
Mm.
last one. The last one. What did you say was again?
Resolution.
A resolution. Yeah. So with that was
Resolution.
yeah. So with that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
bring in the problem. Number one, you're making the client the character by identifying their
Mm,
problem. You're bringing
mm,
the problem, which is the conflict, and then now at the end, you come in the resolution, maybe via the comments by engaging with them, or even like, hey, I experienced this, and then hitting them with a direct
mm,
message. Yeah. But at the same time, as you were saying, that
mm,
you're gonna make it in a more professional tone and not really like excel.
mm.
Just trying to keep it a bit, maintain that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, 100%. I love that. I like that example that you utilized. I really do like it. So yeah, if people can just keep those three, the
Yeah.
character, the conflict, and the resolution, and also just be aware of the tones in which they use in each platform. Because remember, the audience in each platform will receive it a certain way according to the vibe of that
Yeah.
particular platform. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So now I want to move on to the foundation, right? This is the
Sure.
foundation. So now we know the core principles, right? Which is making sure that you build the character, the conflict, and the resolution. So
Yeah.
now we're going to the foundation, right? So the
Oh.
foundation is now built up. So now you already know your story, you know the journey that you're walking, you know the journey that you want to share and connect with the audience. Now you
Sure.
know how to actually structure your story by the
Yeah.
core principles. So now we're building the foundation. So this is
Yeah.
where now the strategy comes in. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to ask yourself. What is your mission, right? As a brand, what is your mission according to that product or service that you're bringing? This is what one needs to keep in their mind, right? Second questions: what values do you stand for, right? That you want to connect with the community, right? The third question is, what voice do you communicate in as a company, right? So
Yeah.
common mistakes that most companies make is that they just post randomly, right? They don't they don't know their mission, they don't know what they stand for, they don't know how they communicate, so they just randomly post. They just copy and paste from ChatGPT, they just type in whatever on ChatGPT or Grok, and then they just post it. But they don't forget to add their mission. They forget to add their mission. I mean, they forget to add their values, and they also forget to add what they stand for, right? So posting randomly, jumping on trends that don't even align with your brand, because if you know what your brand stands for, if you know the value of your brand, that it's going to be easier for you to structure your story, right, to your audience. And then also the inconsistent tone. If you just copying, maybe do marketing's tone, and then copying Nike's tone, and then copying McDonald's tone, so that you can make your brand grow, it kind of works against your mission. It works against your values, because also those values are not the same. They don't align. So it's important to ask yourself, what is your mission? It is important to ask yourself, what is your value? as a company, and it's important to ask yourself, how do we communicate as a company, so that you can be able to now build a proper strategy to be able to build your brand storytelling to your audience, right, to your community, so that they can be able to connect with you, right? So under the foundation, right, you need to also understand your audience, right? That's why it's important to know yourself, to know your mission, to know your value, because automatically you understand the kind of audience that you'll be dealing with, right? So what keeps your audience glued to the screen? So if you planning content, right, or if you're planning brand storytelling, you know, right, my audience, I'm dealing with people that are entrepreneurs. I'm dealing with people that are small business owners, innovators. So you know that most of the time, those people don't have time to sit on their phones for 10 hours. They're always busy. They're always busy. So you always need to make sure that your content is not too long, straight to the point, right? But the language speaks to that kind of audience, right? But now, if you know that your audience is maybe students, your audience is maybe high schoolers, you know, those people actually spend more time on their phones, right? So you're able to now say, okay, I can be able to stretch the length of my content, make it longer. Even the tone is going to be a bit light, not too formal, right? But when you're dealing with business owners, entrepreneurs, innovators, you know, you can't create content that is going to take like 10 minutes, and then you want to now be funny, informal. Like, you need to make sure you get straight to the point, and then you tell them what you can actually help them with, and then you'll be good to go, right? So you need to ensure that we understand our audience, so that you can be able to master your brand storytelling, right? So can I ask, guys, anyone, um do you know any brand? Can you just think of any brand that you think they've mastered their brand storytelling? Can either mention it on the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Any brand that you think they've mastered their brand storytelling that you can think of. Anyone, you can drop it on the chat if maybe you can't unmute yourself, but feel free to unmute the mic and share with us. Are you guys there? Wayden, you want to give it a shot?
Sure, cool, man. I'll give it a shot. What was the question again?
Now, saying any brand that you can think of that you think they've mastered their brand storytelling.
Master brand storytelling. Well, there's a lot, man. I'd say there's a lot, but I think you also mentioned one of them here as well. With the Nike, you know, also Mercedes Benz and so forth. You know, with them, it's more of that rich history, the rich heritage, and also the how they're using the sports stars as basically the brand ambassadors from the
Mm,
Michael Jordan era, and for basically for
mm,
each sport, right? For each sporting
mm,
code, it's basically like a character, as you said in the beginning, like but in this case, the character is a sportsman, right? So
mm,
each basically for like each shoe or for each basically sporting code, there's a superhero or there's a top player in that sporting code that's running the branding and the marketing from them. So in sport, right, we do a lot of as we right now like the stories. So the story really drives the narrative, the passion, and it makes me say, okay, if I'm wearing the Nike T-shirt, I'm going to perform well, and I'm going to be like Michael Jordan or whoever sportsman is in the sporting code. So also they
mm,
also on emotion, you know, and yeah, emotion as well. So which is very powerful in marketing as well.
No, thanks for that. Thanks for that, Tintu. So yeah, 100%, definitely Nike, they've mastered. Michael Jordan, they've definitely mastered their brand storytelling. Anyone else that can think of a brand that you think they've mastered their brand storytelling? Waden, Arthur, Muzi, want to give it a try? You can also type it on the chat if you can't unmute your mic. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, cool. let's move on. Let's move on. So now I want to actually speak about data driven storytelling. So I remember Drew and I actually hosted a data driven webinar last year, and we're actually emphasizing on the importance of utilizing data to be able to see what is working with your content and what is not working with your content. Muzi says, I didn't get the question. Oh, Muzi, the question was which brand that you know has mastered brand storytelling? Any brand that you can think of, whether it's a local brand, whether it's an international or global brand, that you think that brand has mastered their storytelling. Okay, Waden says, I think the Kardashians also mastered it. Okay, okay, okay. I get you. I see. No, no worries. No worries. If there's delays, no worries, guys. No, most definitely, the Kardashians definitely have mastered their brand storytelling. And then yeah, hopefully Muzi will also just share on his end on the chats which brand he thinks has mastered their brand storytelling. But yeah, I was talking about the data-driven storytelling. So Mdu and I were actually emphasizing in our last webinar the importance of, okay, let's see what Waden says here. I mean, how they've built their brand over the years and their rebrands as they, yes, most definitely, most definitely. So data-driven, data, guys, is powerful. Data, you know that when using data, there's no guesswork. They don't wake up and say, okay, I think this is gonna work. You actually have data that's showing you that, okay, this has been working. You have data that's showing you that this has not been working. So it also comes down to storytelling. Remember, storytelling is content, right? So there is content that is going to perform poorly on your platforms, and there is content that's going to perform very well. So it's important to track the people that save your content on your platforms, because when people save, that means your content is valuable, right? It's important to track the people that share your content. When they share your content, that means it's relatable, right? And they want other people to also what? To relate to your content, right? It's important to also check the DMs, right? When people start fetching you on the personal level, that means they want to connect, right? And remember, storytelling is about connecting. So when people say, "Oh wow, I saw this video on your Instagram and it really spoke to me, and I'm actually interested to find out what your product or your service has to do for me." Already you know how you've connected, you've made a connection with that person, right? And it's easier for you to convert from there, right? Comments. When people comment, they're engaging, right? That means they're actually relating, they find it valuable, they want to find out more, right? So it's important to use those things as data to be able to help you track if you're performing well or if you're not performing well. And then with that data, then you're able to now what? To refine your strategy to say, okay, since this has been working, that means I should utilize this. Since this is not working, I should actually decrease, right? Because remember, we don't want to repeat the same cycle at the end of the day, right? So if you know that, let's say East Movers, the educational posts are performing well, then you know that you actually need to utilize more of those educational posts. If let's say do marketing performs well on videos, then you know automatically that, no, with do marketing I need to actually utilize more videos because it does connect with my people, it does connect with my audience, right? And the data is showing that, right? So you just need to ensure that you utilize data to be able to refine your storytelling, right? So I've got a question, guys. Do you guys check your insights regularly to be able to to determine if your content is working or not? Can I get some answers on the chat or unmute? Do you guys regularly check your insights, your data, so that you can be able to make decisions based on your content? Anyone? Or do you guys randomly post? I check not regularly though. Okay, thanks, Mozi, for that. Thanks for the honesty. What about you, Aiden? Do you regularly check? Do you regularly check your insights on your content, or you check once in a while if your content is how your content is performing?
Sure, man. Parisa did mention a bit of Wi-Fi issues because of the weather there, but let me just check up on her. Okay, cool, man. She's having a bit of Wi-Fi issues there. So what I'll do, I'll take from my part, right? So I just want a bit of a recap there. I remember I saw in the chat you mentioned Kardashians, right? Sure, sure. So yeah, I see that you also do a lot of lifestyle content reviews and so forth, which is great, man. So on my end, I'm gonna start with what is this? The platforms, all right, a bit of the platforms, and then go on to the common mistakes that people do and so forth with the storytelling. So with social media, how I see social media is basically like it's an entertainment place, you know. So the content there, it's a bit of entertainment based. So how you deliver it there is going to be a bit different, obviously, across different platforms as well. I'll make an example with Instagram. So Instagram at first was picture focused. What's this platform, right? People just posting pictures and so forth. That's how it started. But then Mark Zuckerberg over the years saw that TikTok was taking a lot of the market share with the videos, and he wanted that as well. So that's how the first started with IGTV, then it came on with Reels. Then if you see now, there's just in the last 2 or 3 years, you can't really get much penetration with pictures, and it kind of forced people to get into aerials, you know. So there on its own, you really see that okay, how to get the story across and get the point across is using videos, right? So with the videos, I said that it's entertainment. I'll just ask you, man, on your phone, what like on social media, like after a long day and so forth, what kind of video do you like to go through? Yeah, you can type in the chat box. You can open the camera. It's up to you. Yeah, but let me go on. So as I was saying that after a long day, obviously I want to go onto social media to de-stress, have a bit of fun. You know, also bearing in mind that we are competing with a lot of other brands for their attention because social media you just scroll all the time. So the story there has to be relatable and emotional to connect with the people. As I said that we are people and not robots. So same goes on for other platforms as well. Like with the video with the video format, the storytelling, we write it down, we write the strategy down, and then we execute the strategy via videos. But with the different platform like your Facebook, LinkedIn, and so forth, it's more of like that to do with a lot of writing, you know. So the writing, for instance, like your favorite, what you're saying, the Kardashians, for instance, or any other favorite reality TV show, or your series or whatever it is. there's a storyline and the storytelling as well. So how the story flows, how the writing is, because we're in the era now whereby like reading is not so popular. But if you write well, like as I said, with these platforms, it's more about writing. You know, your Facebook and your LinkedIn and your Twitter. It's more like when your X, more on your X and your LinkedIn. So there, how you deliver the storytelling is a bit different than the videos via Instagram, right? So we move on to another platform like a website. Before moving on, man, just want to check there by the social media. Do you have any pointers, any questions there? And then you can just put a sharp if you have nothing. Yeah, yeah. Or like you can even type in the chat box as well. Yeah. Before that, I also want to ask you, out of the platforms that I mentioned, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and what is this? Uh, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. Yeah, which ones is the most favorable for posting content? Oh, okay, cool. No stress, man. So as I was saying that with the website, so with the website, right? It's a different type of vibe and the feel across the board. So why do people come here? So I'm gonna go on the website to number one, certify credibility to make sure that the entertainment I was watching on Instagram, the reels, nice vibes, challenges, is it real or is it just like a scam? So how you storytell here, number one, you're coming through with the credibility, you're coming through with the testimonials, you're coming through with the proof. I refer to the website as okay, social media, as I said, entertainment area, so in a company like a reception. So a reception area, everything is perfect. I see the nice reception lady. I see people walking up and down. I see the fancy branding, the fancy work. As I said, it's entertainment. That's where the fun things are. But behind, when I entered the business, that's where most things are hidden. Like that's where everything is. There's no fake. There's no fake. There's no. I'm not saying that social media is fake, but there's no pretense. Everything behind there is real. So that's what I see a website as. It's the full blown. It's the full blown spec of the company. Hey, but it's a good to have you back, man. So just a recap, with what I was saying. Started a bit. Oh, sorry, I can't really hear you there. I think maybe you're on mute.
I had to step out. Sorry about that. As you can see, I'm outside. The Wi-Fi is sabotaging.
No stress, man. No stress. So as I was saying, trying to wait in here is that started with the platforms as well, explaining that how I see social media is like the entertainment part of it. We're having fun. We're seeing challenges. So how you do the storytelling there must be in a yes, in a factual way, but in an entertaining way as well. Because after a long day, social media, you're there basically for entertainment, right? And I basically describe the different platforms of how, okay, story, right? It's all about writing, write the strategy down, and so forth, right? But with Instagram, how we execute it by using a video. So we take the strategy, the written strategy down, we perform a video or whatever it is, most times, because the platform is mostly moved to that. But lately, I've seen that a lot of pictures it's going back to the old vibe whereby a lot of pictures are actually doing well, or are they doing at the same level as the videos? So as I was saying that with Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, it's more of your writing platform. So we're taking the writing now that you've written, the strategy you've already written down, but making it in a more interesting way, in a more making it exciting to read. So yeah, how you deliver it there, it's a bit different. So as I was saying that social media is more of entertainment. It's the like in a company, when I go to a company, there's a reception area, right? So everything in the reception area is perfect. I see the nice reception lady, I see the branding, but I don't know what really fully is going on. It's just the sneak peek, right? And then the website, I was saying that the website is when you enter the company at the back, the full blown company. You see everything. You see the annoyed employee. You see everything, man. That's the full vibe. So executing the storytelling on a website is different to executing on Instagram, because the reason why I'll go to a website is to see, okay, the entertainment I was seeing on Instagram, the challenges, the fun culture, and so forth. Is this real, or it's just another scam? So, with that being said, people go to a website for credibility and basically to resolve a solution of the problem they have. As a storyteller, what I'm going to do, number one, I'll make sure that I have a lot of testimonials, clients speaking well about us, our work. I have contentable references. What is this? I offer our offering is there, our food brand offering is there, and the person, it's easy for them to request a service, because basically now the person is past the reception, is at the back. I'm looking for finance. I'm looking for marketing. I'm looking for that. And once I'm inside, as you were saying, that someone wanting to send you a message, it's already personal. They already want to do something with you. So I'm inside the website now. I want to navigate what I want to do fully. So how you story tell there is more centered around that, with the building credibility and solving the problem of the consumer. The consumer is there, he sees all the tools, he wants to deal with marketing, finance, and so forth. So he must be able to access them. Yeah. And as I was saying, another question I asked before was that um, which platform do you like to do storytelling on mostly, like on a personal level, not like on the business, but on a personal level? Yeah, like which one? Yeah,
I think I like doing storytelling on TikTok and Insta. Yeah,
I see
TikTok
that.
and Insta, I think are the two platforms that I prefer doing storytelling on, because I
Yeah,
realize that with those platforms, as you're saying, I get us more of entertainment,
yeah,
but it's also value bringing. But people are most likely to engage and most likely to actually hear you out in comparison
yeah,
to storytelling on LinkedIn or storytelling on like YouTube. I mean,
yeah,
YouTube you can, but you already have to have a solid
yeah.
base, a solid community. But I prefer Instagram and TikTok.
Sure, man, sure, man. As you say that, with Instagram and TikTok, it's a video. Someone already sees whatever characteristics they see from you. They can already relate. They see a nose ring. I've got a nose ring as well. Let me jump on. It's easier to relate because they're seeing something. Then the reading, as you say, it's a bit more. It takes a bit more depth. It takes a bit more depth. Yeah. And as I was saying, also with the website, we're fully in the company now, and we the storytelling there. You want to build the credibility. You want to solve the problems. Then we move on to what is this? The PR and the media, more linked to you guys. So with them, man, people want to know the founder journey. They want to know, okay, for instance, yeah, they want to know the founder journey. For instance, Likau, the drip guy. I think most people were really attracted to the brand because we had that vibe that, hey, I'm a guy from Ekasi. I think Tim Visa, I think, or Ivory Park. So that thing made people from Ekasi and so forth attached to the brand and wanting to push the brand, because the guy's like, okay, I'm from Ekasi, this guy is from Ekasi and he's doing this. So I also want to be able to do this, or also want to help the guy because I relate. So with a personal story like that, using it in the media sense and in the PR sense. So just to recap, now we've gone through the social media, the website. Now we're more on like the PR and the media side of it, like reporting on a public base. So the founder journey and the impact and so forth really does a lot, and it's easy for people to relate. Yes, of course, there are a lot of brands that are not founder led, but then they use more of their audience to lead the story, like the history, the heritage of the brand. Yeah. And I want to move on now to email. So with email, it's a one-on-one conversation or dialogue. It's like a one-on-one message. So how I text Waden and how I text Palisa, it's not the same. Also, there, what I'm trying to get there is talk about or email or communicate about one thing at a time. So, for instance, let's say that I've just sold something to a consumer and they buy it. I'm obviously not gonna Now again, just like you made the sale, deal is on the paid. Then all of a sudden I just what's this? I sell them something again on that spot. Doesn't make any sense. It's gonna overwhelm them. So there, it's basically like one idea at a time, and basically something that's gonna make the what's this? Make the consumer what is this? Be able to take action. So let's say that you write a story maybe about this T-shirt, how it was made or whatever it is, background around the logo and so forth. In the end, you're like, okay, this T-shirt costs this much, or running a promo, you can win this T-shirt if you do A, B, C, and D. At the end, it's good to always have a CTA or a call to action, in other words. So, with that being said, we've touched the platforms. We've advised on the platforms. Now, it's like, okay, what are the common mistakes we see and the fixes or solutions for them? So, firstly, the inconsistent messaging. So, as far as I was saying that obviously on a different platform, you're going to do the storytelling a bit differently than, for instance, Instagram and X, or Facebook. But at the same time, I must be able to see that, okay, it's the PR link, because whenever I go to your guys' pages, I know it's a sea of blue, because that's like one of the primary colors. So I must be able to see, okay, still the same brand, still the same tone or language, but structured in a different way. As I was saying early on, if your brand's like Nando's or like relies a lot on jokes, uh, how you present Instagram is different. I present LinkedIn, but at the same time, like for LinkedIn, as I was saying, you can still make smart or witty jokes, using different tones. So there, how do you solve the inconsistent messaging, or whereby the brand voice gets lost on each platform? You basically, as I was saying, that you maintain the tone, but adjust it to the certain platform, certain language, and certain tone of that platform. Because most TikTok, it's fun, it's jolly. Instagram also it's a video format as well, but it's more of like you know. And then Facebook is more of like community. Yeah, well, depends whatever you want to use, maybe vernac or English, but it's more like community based. It's like imagine yourself in a community meeting. Then LinkedIn is more of a serious vibe. So yeah, basically taking the brand voice and putting it in these different situations or settings, but at the same time knowing that, okay, cool, it's still sounding like do marketing or the PR link. Same as us with people, as people. How I am in town, how I am like Yorkshire, how I am in the roles and so forth, or in different situations like that. Um, it's different, but you can still say, hey man, this is that guy. It's the same person. Yeah, well. So moving on to overselling. So obviously, if there's a page, and every time I go there, I'm being sold the product. Buy, 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 buy. Every single post on this page is a buying. Like I must just buy time and time again. So, firstly, as a consumer, what I'm going to see is that, okay, all they know from me here, number one, is money. I'm just a walking ATM. There's no value. They don't care about me, the consumer. All they see is money, right? Let's check there. What do you think of that rating, man? Just going to a page whereby they're constantly selling me something. Do you like that vibe or not really?
Can you please repeat it again? I think I missed that last part.
Whereby a brand is just like a page, like it's just they're always just selling something like, hey, buy this, hey, it's 30 rand, it's just all they do when you know that whenever you're gonna go on the page, all they do is just sell, 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 sell. Like in a way that yeah, whenever you go to the page, it's just selling all the time, like buy this, buy that, this is this price, this is that price, and so forth.
So, so you're asking how does that make us feel, like as a
Yeah,
consumer, if you come across
yeah,
a page like that?
yeah.
It's to run away. And every time I come across them, probably eventually I'll always be ignoring them, or I'll unfollow them, because I know for it, they actually don't care about the value of us. They just want our money. So yeah, I'm most likely going to run away.
Yeah, man. So as you say, man, with that, it's just like scaring people away. Yeah, well, there's no emotional connection. It's just the selling. So a lot of businesses do this when they're starting out because most don't know any better and most they need the money. So they're just going to push the sale or think that's going to work. But it doesn't work. As you say, that it chases people away. So how do we navigate this? How do we deal with this? Because, obviously businesses want money and so forth, but how do we navigate this? So yeah, man, over the years, education has been a huge part. Education content has been a huge part of this. So just make an example. Yeah, selling food, where's the food? Yeah. So with that, there's a lot of educational tips on food, what kind of food you like, the food itself, or like what kind of complementary products you can have with the food. Uh, if the food works with what it does to your body and so forth. Instantly with that, I'm going to your page, I'm learning something, number one. I'm being entertained while I'm learning, and I'm starting to connect with your brand on another level. That's where the emotional connection comes in. And when I'm buying, that's something to think of because it's like someone you love, you're emotionally connected to them. So whenever you're doing something, you're doing with the emotion. So if you can focus on connecting with the consumer at the same time solving the problem while connecting with them, and then you hit the sweet spot. Yes, I'm not saying now don't release your special, your price list. Yes, obviously, you are going to do that, but in a way that you're not just constantly doing that. Because as I was saying, that with the social media, that's the entertainment area. We're chilling, we're having fun. I don't want being bombarded all the time. You can do that at another phase of the social media, maybe the email, or even the website, depending obviously how you're going to use it. So going on with trends, right? So trends are a big vibe, especially in our marketing space. I think we've seen a lot of brands hopping onto trends recently. Right now, the ChatGPT one and so forth. Besides that trend, which is like the seasonal trend, you get other trends as well, which is more like long term. I'm sure you guys have seen maybe like on Facebook or Instagram, like use this tone to trend, use this line to whatever. Those things. Are you guys familiar with that?
Sorry, please repeat that.
Are you guys familiar with those things? I was saying that you get like your normal trends like the chat GPT, which are seasonal, which are passing by. Then you get those long term trends like use this tone to get whatever views, use this tagline to get whatever views. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, most definitely I am familiar with that because there's your, like, I'm trying to think of one that's currently trending.
Hmm.
It's like, that, remember how they, for like February, since we're in the month of love, the
Hmm.
thing of Valentine's is coming. Where's your boyfriend? Like, that was already catchy, and it's still catchy even now. Because
Um,
and they were doing it what for the month of love. So people can actually be like, hey, I actually have my person. It's the month of
yeah.
love. So that was one
Hmm.
of the long term trends, which I think people are still hopping
Yeah.
on, and people are actually excited about it. Right? It's just the
Hmm.
tagline. Even when maybe you're posting. Maybe a person you post it, you posing with them, and then you're like, Valentine's is coming. Where's your boyfriend? So you're actually showing people that I've got a person. What about you? So that's
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I can say. Okay, for long term trending, that was one that I think, yeah, actually it's powerful to have that tagline there that people can use over and over again.
Cool, man. So yeah, as I was saying there with the trend like trends like that, like a long term thing, or like use whatever to like those hacks. Yeah. So with those things, nah, copy and paste kind of page, copying everything, and not really tailor making it to fit the page or like being unique. So what's the point of me going to your page if I can go to 500 other pages which are the same? So what I'm trying to say there, another common mistake is hopping on every trend, which eventually, you know, okay, let's say that all I'm doing is trend posting. Whenever I post, it's just on a trend. It's a trend, nothing authentic, nothing unique. I'm driving away consumers because they're like, okay, if I can see this here, I can see this at a far more established brand page than this. So how do you fix that? It's basically just staying true to yourself and authentic, and even like when doing the trend, tailor making it to fit your business and to fit your authentic story, right? So moving on to another mistake. So the brand, making the brand a hero. Nothing much wrong with making the brand a hero, but the main or like how to fix that, as Paisa was saying earlier on, is making the consumer a hero. Because as I say that, making the market the focal point will always be uh, a good vibe and a good point. Because if I'm going to a page and everything is always about me as the consumer, obviously I feel heard, I feel great. Yeah, then at the end there with the mistakes, basically writing such great storylines, writing very good everything, but not having a call to action like, um, do this, buy this, or basically having a good intro body, but not having the finish with the CTA there. So yeah, man, those are the common mistakes there. Is there anything you maybe would like me to go over there, or anything you maybe didn't hear properly before I move on?
Sorry, do you said before you move on?
I was saying that, man, is there anything that maybe you want me to go over again that maybe you didn't hear there? As I was saying, the what is this? The the common mistakes
No, no, no. So far, so
and
good.
and the solutions. Okay, cool, man. Then I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run off with the last one, as I was saying, making the audience the center of the storytelling, and then you're gonna wrap it up with the joint segment. So yeah, man, as we both touched that, making the customer the hero, but at the same time using the experience with you to create the story as well. Like, okay, testimonial, the feedback. I think I saw this week as well. You did a bit of that whereby you thanked um, one of your clients for being part of the journey. So a client is the lifeline of the business. No clients, the business does not eat, right? So involving clients and testimonials and basically real life feedback from them as part of the story is really powerful because number one, it's proof of concept. You involving them in the process, in the real process, and it's like, for instance, when I think people have that. I'm not sure if you know this, but you know that thing whereby people say that alcohol companies should use their real clients to do the storytelling or the adverts.
So you're saying alcohol uses their people to actually story tell for them?
No, no. Have you seen that like on Facebook and socials? About people say that, but hey, why doesn't alcohol brands use their real consumers to do the storytelling and not the influencers?
Imagine that would be so funny, but it'll also be catchy at the same time. I think
Yeah.
it'll trend longer. It'll trend longer.
So yeah, with that's like an example of that, like using the consumers as part of the brand story. So yeah, man, as you're saying that, with that, it's really powerful because you involve in them in the storytelling, and there's the emotional connection. There's that interpersonal connection as well. So yeah, man, I'm done with my segment. I touched on the platforms, the mistakes on the platforms, and basically making the audience being involved in the storytelling, the lifeline of the business. Yeah, and you can do this in numerous ways. Ads, having special editions named after maybe certain clients or whatever, just making them part of the history and part of the brand. Yeah. I think now we're gonna go on to the joint segments, and then we're gonna end it there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for that to do. Yeah, unfortunately the Wi-Fi was just tripping, so I think I missed the beginning of your session, but so far you definitely shared powerful nuggets,
Thanks.
and it's important for us to really master the brand storytelling so that we can truly
Yeah.
connect with our people. So that when people see do marketing and people see the link Pure Marketing Solutions, when people see Waden's company one day, they don't run
Yeah.
away when they see us because all they see is money, or they say,
Ah.
what are these people? They just want to empty our pockets. But
Yeah.
they say, oh, no, actually, these people want to connect with us. They want to show us how we can be of help because
Yeah.
that's what we're supposed to be about, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I also just wanted to share a good example, which I see this brand has also mastered their brand storytelling.
Yeah.
And then you can also just maybe try and think of a bad story, a bad brand storytelling example as well that we can use so that we can also try and avoid according to the mistakes that you've also shared. So
Okay.
one brand that I saw that has also really mastered their brand storytelling is Dav. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
Dav, when you use Dav, you know, if I go and buy that Dav soap,
Mm.
after bathing with that Dove soap, I'm gonna be beautiful. Like when I walk on the streets, people are gonna be turning. I'll even feel fresh. You know, I'll feel good. Like number one,
Yeah.
if you take the three core principles, if you take the character, we
Mm.
already
Yeah.
know that their clients is people that are obviously people that want to look good. You know, especially women that want to look good, women that want to, when they're walking on the street, all
Yeah.
heads must turn and look at them and face them, you know.
That
And then they're
emotion. Yeah.
sorry.
That emotion.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
then the conflict is Dav saw that no, there's people that are insecure about their skin. There are people that are insecure about, you know, maybe acne, maybe how they look. They
Ah.
pick that up, especially when it comes to women. And they know what a woman they love. Beauty is the first thing that
Yeah.
they invest in, you know. So they
Yeah.
picked up like, oh, okay, this is our target audience. And then now what do they do? Their solution is to create a simple soap that
Mm.
once you utilize it, you'll feel good and you'll smell good as well. So they've definitely mastered that because if you even check their adverts, there's always women that are
Yeah.
beautiful, and then after they bath, it's like
Yeah.
already you want to go to the shop right and actually buy Dove. Do you know?
Yeah.
So I really think they've
Sure.
mastered the brand
Yeah.
storytelling on that end.
Sure, man. Can I just touch on something there? You know, the like when you described that, I just described, you know, on the ads there. One of the ladies has like long legs, and then there's like a sateen kind of, I don't know, kind of vibe. I just thought of that, man. And yeah, man, you 100% correct there. Yeah, it's a lot of emotional, a lot of terrorist kind of vibe and how they do their storytelling. Yeah, brilliant, man.
Exactly. So they've mastered those three core principles. They know their character, they know their conflict, and they know their resolution. So already their content and their strategy aligns with the audience. And that's why it's easy for them to convert, right? Big
Sure.
sales and connect with their audience. And then when
Yeah.
I think of a story that is a bad brand storytelling example, let's take example Nike. We know Nike is a master in brand storytelling, but imagine if Nike didn't have the logo, just do it. Imagine if Nike used to say, we sell durable shoes, running shoes that
Yeah.
come in maybe six different colors, and then
Yeah.
when you wear it, you know, it makes you feel comfortable. Do you think we'd actually gravitate towards that in comparison to them saying no? We are a brand that when you wear our clothes, when you wear our shoes, we
Yeah.
motivate you to reach for your goals. We
Yeah.
motivate you to not give up. We motivate you
Yeah.
to be inspirational to others so that they can also just do it, so that they also don't think a lot. So I think if Nike actually didn't have just do it, if Nike didn't
Yeah.
pick up that, oh, actually we've got clients that want to feel good, they want when they wear something, they want
Yeah.
to feel motivated. I
Sure.
don't think, you know, they would have mastered the brand storytelling. And if they didn't come up with, you know, products that are actually durable,
Yeah.
products that are actually quality,
Yeah.
products that actually come in different I would say that cater for all kinds of people, whether you
Yeah.
like rubber, whether you like slim fit shoes, you know, they cater for different kinds of people. But you
Sure.
know, mostly sports, right? Sports wear. But now there's also fashionable wear as well. So I just feel like if they didn't master picking up that people actually need clothes that
Yeah.
make them feel comfortable,
Sure.
and people actually need clothes that last. I
Yeah.
don't think we would actually have gravitated towards Nike. So I think that is an example of bad storytelling, not telling people, not understanding your client, not
Yeah.
understanding what your client is struggling with, and also not understanding what you are solving for the client. I don't think they would have been able to structure their brand storytelling properly.
Sure, man. Sure. Yeah, man. So on my end, man, great examples by the way there. Great examples by the way. Yeah. So on my end, man, for me, I'll just touch on the local one, you know. So it's also closed down now, but it's drip, you know. So for me, with what is this with the drip, right? What is this? Yeah, man, you know,
Did you say trip?
drip.
Oh, trip. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
drip,
yeah.
drip, yeah, drip. So I'll start with copying trends. Yeah, well. So they came in the market, and as I said, that I made an example before that they were using founder-led PR and media, which was great. It worked well for them. People from Makasi were behind the brand more mainly because Kumita Sakasi and saying that this is a township brand. As much as Sakasi, we relate to this. We see ourselves in him. We want to push this brand. We want Sakasi to win. So in order for us to win, we're gonna support this guy. Sharp. I Chiki Chiki, the guy now, there's a lot of billboards across, not sure, get the Joburg freeways and so forth, but across the Joburg freeways. So at that, the Joburg freeways. So at that time, billboard advertising, not that it's not in fashion, but it's what big corporations are doing because they can afford it. So the guy's copying those kind of trends, of which he just needed to be on social media and paid ads, pay a couple of people to run that, and that would have cost him much less and have more impact. So they are touching the copying trends. So I'd say that he didn't really stay authentic there. He tried to fit in with the Joneses. Same as the fun story in the end moved from the Cassie guy, Cassie's brand and so forth. More of like now he's like more of the celebrity, he's mingling, So yeah, I mean, I'll say there the storytelling there start, was great, but during the period leading to its downfall, it collapsed, and you could see this by other factors as well, how the business is performing, and also the end, like the things with his wife and so forth, especially like in the founder-led kind of brand storytelling. It really collapsed the whole story, and with inconsistent messaging as well. If I'm putting a lot of billboards up on the suburbs, I'm saying this is a brand and this is a township brand. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to put billboards in the suburbs, but there's not much billboards cars here. So I think I'd maybe try and make that messaging or that communication to be related to the Kasi brand and its market. Yeah. So for me, man, I would say that's the bad example I have there. And yeah, man, it's basically that. Not sure if you have any questions on your side about that, or anything to add.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on Trip. Trip most definitely they came on with fire. They were on the same league with Batu.
Yeah.
Because those are the two we say, okay, we're proud of these brands because they are one of the powerful footwear brands that we have here in SA. So
Mm.
now with Batu, they were manufacturing, right, from
Yeah.
scratch. And
Yeah.
then they were using social media. Batu, you'd find a billboard, but maybe one, like maybe there, just one, not like
Yeah.
five. But they were
Yeah.
mastering social media, as you're stating, right?
Yeah.
Drip, I hardly used to see them on social media. Maybe I'd see them here and there, and then I would see them on billboards. And then also, I think there was even there was a PR crisis that they had on
Yeah.
one of the years whereby they realized you could see they actually stock from China, the
Oh
design
yeah,
of the
I
shoe,
remember that.
and
Yeah,
then they
yeah, yeah.
just put the logo, and they gave people the impression you could see they actually manufacture from scratch. So that also hit them hard, you know. So I think with them, their brand storytelling was a bit. It gave people that shady, like, okay, you're
That
being shady.
you see now you're touching on the inconsistent messaging. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
So I definitely agree with
Yeah.
you. Like powerful example
Yeah.
there.
Oh, I see, man. I see. Yeah, guys, man. Today, a couple of people joined. A lot of people signed up. A couple of people joined, but yeah, man, there are a lot of
Yeah,
issues.
yeah.
Wi-Fi with maybe other people on Valentine's. But man, we have to go. We have to push. And
Mm,
thanks to everyone who joined. Balisa, thanks for being a co-host. That's been great,
mm.
guys. And, we're coming back with more. We're coming back with more. And stay tuned, man. I'm not sure if Balisa have any other words to close. Wade, are you still there, brother? Yeah.
Yeah. No, thanks, and do totally agree with you. I still love the spirit that we had,
Yeah.
irrespective of the hiccups. That's what life is about. That's how
Hundreds,
things go.
hundreds,
But
hundreds,
what's important is to keep the train moving. And
100%.
shout out to Waden. Waden has been there. Almost throughout the webinar.
Yeah,
Even though he probably had other priorities, but he decided to stay.
yeah,
Shout out to my teammates. You know, things happen, but I just love the spirit that we have. Let's keep it going.
Yeah,
Nothing from my side. We'll just, stay in touch with our upcoming webinars. I don't know if
sure.
there's anything from Waden. So he sent me a message actually saying that his text box is giving him issues. So I don't know if he can maybe unmute himself if the mic is working. Waden, can you unmute yourself? If maybe you've got anything to say, or is your text box good to go now? Or can you maybe the emojis maybe give us a thumbs up that you're
Yeah.
good, you know?
Okay, okay. Maybe there's been a bit of network issues.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. No, not a problem. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys. It was a lovely
yeah.
webinar. Looking forward to seeing you guys next time.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.